Hello, and thank you so much for tuning in today, folks. Today we're speaking with the star of the new film Shortcut, which is in theaters today, who plays Bess. I introduce to you all Sophie Jane Oliver. Sophie, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I'm so excited to talk to you about this film. I have to start off by asking though, but like, how are you feeling? Like,
I
now that it's
I
released.
mean, yeah, it's kind of gone a bit crazy because I mean, back when we filmed it, it was this low budget kind of independent Italian film,
Yeah.
and I honestly didn't think it would leave Italy, never mind America.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Crazy, crazy, crazy times.
I mean, especially talking about the pandemic. Like, I think I was
Yeah.
surprised too when I had saw this film coming down the pipeline and
hmm
I was able to check out the screener, which was amazing. But come to find out, when I prepped for, doing my review, I was like, wait, this isn't coming on digital. This is actually in theaters, which is a huge thing,
Yeah.
because a lot of films just doesn't have that success right now, because of what the world has kind of shaped itself into. So that's a
100%.
that's a huge thing, and I really was pushing and hoping people to check this out because
Oh,
um,
thank you.
it's a really dope film, and I think what's really the best part about it is it's like the perfect drive-in film. If you ask me, it's easily a
100%.
good film for that.
Yeah. It
So
it has such like a 80s nostalgic kind of drive-in
yeah,
movie feel anyway,
yes,
before Corona and all of these drive-in
yep,
theaters. So I think it's
yep.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just thankful because like I don't really have drive-in movie theaters in my area, but because of this, they theaters had to kind of say,
Both
what
of
are
'em,
we going to
yeah.
do to make money? So like it's cool to kind of get those type of films in this era, and theaters are coming kind of confolding with that. So it's been pretty cool.
Good.
Um, so ultimately, too, beyond the feeling personally, how's the feeling seeing all the fans' reactions to the film and to your role?
I mean, the fact that I can say we've got fans is again mind-blowing. When we made this, we didn't know how many people were gonna see it. We
Yeah,
didn't know what they were gonna react, but I think people have just enjoyed it, and that's what it's meant to be, something that's watched and enjoyed, and it's a
yeah,
great kind of sit down. It's for older kids, I'd say, but you can still have your family watch it.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's been incredible. The fact that we have reviews again blows my
hmm
mind. Blows my
I,
mind.
I'll add a tidbit to that. In layman's terms, folks, this is a feel good, fun movie. I don't know how anybody's going into this with any type of negative stigma to it. Like, did your
Thank
childhood
you.
suck or
It
something? Like, I
is,
don't,
I
I
know.
don't get it. I don't get it. very,
Yeah, yeah.
very simple, very fun, amazing characters, good chemistry amongst the characters, and then, like you said, nostalgia to the old theater feel, and even nostalgia to your own childhood. Like, there's so
Mhm.
many things I saw amongst these characters. I was just like, oh, that's so cool. Like some of the chemistry on the bus, we all been on buses back in the day, and how
Mhm.
everybody look at each other, the bad kid in the back, like who
Yeah.
really doesn't become to be the bad kid. How many stereotypes have we seen that? It's
But,
it's
I
it's
mean, they're all true. We've all experienced stuff very similar to all these characters, and I think that's what makes them so likable.
Yes, that
Yeah,
you're
100%.
you're spot on that. So take me through the journey of landing this role all the way up until now, and
Yeah,
obviously working with the director Alexio Ligori.
Liguri, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. Yeah. So it's been a long process for me. About 4 years ago almost, I sent a tape audition in with my manager, first audition ever done. I think I was about 12 or 13 at the time, and, I actually auditioned for Queenie instead of Bess. And
Ah.
I sent a tape audition, and I didn't hear anything for a year, and I just assumed, "Haven't got the role, it's fine, carry on." And then a year later, they called me back, and then they called me back again, and they were like, "We want you for Bess this time." And I was like, "Great."
Mm,
And then what they did was really nice is they did, like, kind of chemistry auditions. So they
mm.
had characters for Nolan, Bess, Queenie, Carl, and Reggie, and they just sort of swapped everybody in and out until they kind of found this
Wow.
tight-knit group of 5. And I mean, even in the audition waiting room, we kind of made a friendship group of our own,
Wow.
and it was great because we were all the characters, nobody was kind of going for the same role, so there was no sort of competition, and we all kind of
Yeah.
became friends in real life, and then they were like, "We want you lot," and we were blown away. And I mean, Alessio is just such a such a big kid at heart. He was so enthusiastic. Can I just say, he was, on those kind of late night shoots and it was cold. He was the
Yeah.
one who was like, come on, guys, that was great. Keep going. He was absolutely amazing. But he also, he had this joy, but he was so professional and he knew exactly what he wanted everything to kind of look like and feel like. And that, I think, is what makes the kind of atmosphere of the film, is his directing. It was brilliant.
That is awesome. That's awesome here. And I think, especially with the social climate of the world, hearing people and cast saying that the on-set chemistry and atmosphere and environment was safe and fun is always a plus.
Oh,
so
I never ever kind of felt uncomfortable. I weirdly was very relaxed. I was very nervous going into it, but as soon as we started, and all of the crew, I mean, even with the language barrier, I think this experience proved to me that people of completely different cultures, completely different backgrounds, even different languages, you can still form close bonds and friendships. There's kind of no boundaries, really.
That's a very important message to society. I might have to clip that one out. That's an important message for society right there.
100%.
That's real.
You've got no excuses. Yeah.
Now, you did bring up Queenie. Now, as you originally was going to audition for, but you landed Bess. Now, did you have any clue? And I watched it twice now. Did you have any clue that Bess was going to be the saving grace of this movie?
Do you know what? I did not. I knew from the very beginning she was very sort of sweet and very selfless. She's a very kind, compassionate, and caring person.
Yeah.
But I mean, the lengths she goes to.
Yeah.
For these people, I mean, I remember thinking, that would me. I would be running. I'd be like, sorry guys, I am out. You can save yourselves. She is honestly, she's so calm in such a kind of high, intense moment. And I think, she's a badass. I'm gonna say she is.
That's exactly it. I mean, you saved the crew once with the flashlight on the bus. You saved them by getting the keys.
Yep.
And then you were the one who baited the monster at the end, which is like, I had to watch that part like a couple of times and say like, yo, did they really put her up to be the one?
I know. I'm like, oh, do you know what? But
I was like, guys, come on, you gotta do better than that.
She tried her hardest, bless her. Yeah. You can see her struggling, but
Bess is absolutely the most essential character in this, and I was just like, I love that. I think now, really pushing and displaying the lengths that women can go to and go through 100%. And just, women empowerment. I thought that's just a really not hitting, but like, because this story is really about courage amongst everybody. But like, I really thought that was a good tidbit to pull from that as well too. It's like Bess never volunteered to like be the leader, never, was egotistical about anything. Bess was just, I'm a badass. I'm gonna do what I got to do, and that's it. Except for when that mouse came. I mean,
I don't. But to be fair, honest to God, in real life, I am jumpy, and I would have done the same thing. So.
I was just going to ask. So yeah, let's kind of put this into perspective here. How much are you Bess, and what's the comparison contrast between Sophie and Bess here?
Yeah, Bess is like the version of me I think I eventually want to become. She is, like I said, she's so kind and considerate, but she's still fun and enjoyable to be around. And I like to think I'm fun to be around, but she very much, she puts kind of everyone first. And I think I learned that from her. And as well, throughout the whole process, I really learned kind of teamwork, because I'm an only child. So growing up, I didn't have any siblings, and kind of, I liked my friends, but I was very independent. Whereas it really taught me how you can be independent, but having a good network of people around you will just make you fly, really.
Yeah, I think all of us, we all need friends and family, no matter how independent we are. So it's always good to be open. I'm an only child as well, so I definitely mirror everything that you're saying there. So would you consider yourself the bravest amongst your peers?
Ooh, what in the film now? The cast
Well,
members,
it's without a
or just
doubt in
in
the
real
film.
life?
Yeah,
Yeah,
in real
yeah. Okay,
life,
right.
yeah.
Um, Bravest. I'd like to think I would be. I think in my mind I'm all for it, but until
Yeah,
I'm in that situation, that might be another story. That
yeah.
yeah.
Did you have were you able to really provide any influence in this character? Like
Oh
were
my
you able
God.
to kind of mold it yourself a little?
They were, I mean, we had like a big meeting in a place called Ealing Studios, which is sort of on the outskirts of London.
Mhm,
And the director and the producers were there to sort of discuss the whole idea. And they gave us all of our characters and all of our backgrounds and just wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page.
mhm,
And they were so up for discussion. I mean, there are so many sort of rewrites in the film that kind of just came up as we went along. They were
mhm.
so open to ideas because
Nice.
obviously it was a new project for all of us. You know,
Mhm,
me, Xander, and Molly had never done any filming whatsoever. You know, and then a lot of the crew, this was sort of some of their first projects, and
mhm.
even the writers, you know, this was sort of very new to all of us, and they were so open to kind of suggestions, and we could have sort of healthy conversations about where we wanted to take certain things, just because they kind of made more sense. Because there are differences between English people and American people. There are
Yep.
differences between English people and Italian people.
Mhm.
And there were just like some words or some phrases that just we kind of gave input and they were all for it 100%. They were there supporting our decisions all the way.
That's so awesome. That's so
Hmm.
awesome.
It really
Now,
was sort of a collaborative thing.
good, good, good. And I think that's, I mean, I don't think there's no better booster in someone's morale moving forward for other projects to knowing that you deserve a seat at the table and your thoughts
Mm.
matter. So I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
I really love hearing that. So what type of training? Well, I need to know like what type of thoughts and what type of training did you kind of endure to really display such realistic fear, like especially the scene where you
Yeah.
get the keys from Joseph. Like it looks so authentic. So I
Oh,
just
thank
like
you.
where were you like channeling in order to get to put on that?
I mean, I think the reason I love acting is I've always kind of had like an instinct towards certain things, and I love chucking myself in and kind of going, do you know what? I'm not going to be embarrassed. I'm not scared. I'm
Yeah.
just going to, well, I am scared, but you know, in myself, I'm not worried about what other people think. And honestly, our director was the one who just kept giving us advice, because the thing is, you think you look scared, but sometimes it doesn't quite read.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the big thing is big eyes, big eyebrows, kind of, and just kind of let go a little bit
Yeah.
and be scared. And the big thing as well we worked on was breathing, kind of letting your breath get rapid. And I think it's really cool as well because it was so cold when we filmed. You can see sort of the breath in some of the shots. And but yeah, I think it was really just the encouragement from our director really helped
That's
me with that.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Um, what would you consider the hardest part of filming? Now, I have in quotation marks here in my notes. I said it must have been the running because there was a ton of running going on in the film.
Oh, honestly, I am not I'm not very athletic. I think that's the most cardio I've done in 4 weeks in my life, honestly. But I mean, it was because it looks like a lot of running, and to be fair, it was a lot of running,
Yeah.
but because the kind of shots, they look continuous in the film,
Hmm.
but they were more split up when we
Okay.
were actually doing them. So we weren't running for too long. We'd sort of run to one bit and then we'd stop and then we'd start again.
Yeah.
But for me, the hardest part, I think the part where I went, "Oh, this is something very new," was when I was handed a big flaming torch and was like, "Use this." And it was sort of, you know, and there's scenes where I'm sort of reading the news articles on the wall,
Hmm.
and it's kind of like my head had to be in shot, and so did the flame, but I like was so close to just setting things on fire.
Mm.
It was pretty scary. And there's a bit Jack who plays Nolan. It got a bit close to his hair, and
Oh,
we were a bit worried at that point. And it was kind of like, okay, put the stick of fire down, and let's just figure that one out before we start. But I mean, in theory, there should have been a lot of difficulties because we kind of worked very long hours, and it was cold, and it was kind of we didn't have a lot of time.
yeah. Yeah.
But we just we had so much fun that none of it mattered.
That's good.
We did. We were laughing all the time with anyone and everyone, and yeah, I mean, for me, there weren't any major difficulties at all.
That's awesome. I'm actually going to come back to that in one quick second. I
Okay.
you just made me remember something. Now, Bess, as we know in the film, is a good drawer. Now, the
Mhm.
drawings of the film, were they actually? Did you actually draw them, or are you
No.
actually a good
Oh
drawer?
my god, no.
Uh,
My best friend is so artistic, and I love her. She's quite like Bess, actually,
huh?
and it was quite nice because I kind of drew a little bit of inspiration from her.
That's awesome.
But no, they were drawn by, I think it was one of the crew members' girlfriend or someone, but she was actually studying fashion design
Ah, okay.
in school, so she drew them, and I kind of just, like, held a pencil and made it look like I was drawing it, but no, they were beautiful. I remember opening the
Yeah.
notebook and going, "So you think I'm really good, thanks." You know, I was kind of taken aback by it, but no, it wasn't my drawing.
Taking it from somebody who can't do anything in the car from being motion sick from motion sickness,
Oh
like I
gosh,
was just
bless
like, okay, so
you.
this is like awesome plus awesome right here. So much like I said earlier, the theme of this film is courage, and it also is kind of sublined with the idea of a story where no one took you serious or believed you. Is there
Mhm.
any? Do you have any accounts in your life that kind of follows suit?
No, I don't think so. I think, well, I mean, probably when I made up crazy stories and told my parents that I knew were fake and I just wanted a reaction. I mean, that's fair enough.
Don't
That's
get yourself in trouble now,
that's fair
okay?
enough. No, I know. Um, no, I mean, I think I think as a kid, actually, I took myself very seriously. Um, and as I've gotten older, I've kind of let go a bit more.
Yeah,
I've kind of done it the wrong way round. But yeah, no, I'm lucky to never have that sort of experience where you're trying so hard to tell somebody and you want so badly for someone to
yeah,
believe you and they just don't. And there's
yeah,
kind of nothing they can do because obviously it sounds crazy.
yeah. True. So how would you explain the story arc with Bess in lines in
Mhm.
terms of courage?
I think Bess has always kind of had those thoughts and opinions, but I think she's kind of just more kept them to herself and she's sort of happy doing things by herself, kind of a bit like me. But I think as they progress, she sort of quickly realizes that they all need each other. And she knows that there are so strong personalities in the group that if she just sort of adds her strong opinion, that won't get them anywhere. So I think she very much takes that kind of position of, I need to make sure that we're all on the same page and that we just work together because you can argue for as long as you want and you're probably not going to get anywhere. And she's very good at just trying to keep the situation as calm as possible.
Yeah. I would also add too that she came off a little soft spoken in the beginning, much like you said, but I
Mhm.
think at after her encounters with the monster, I think she really asserted herself with confidence and courage
Yeah.
when speaking with the group, and she stated that this is a parasite. Now, the classification of it is obviously correct, but it was so respected around the room. Is just, I think, that next level of just courage that you pulled to say, like, I'm not going to be soft spoken. This is what I think this is
Mhm.
happening, and this is what it is. And I thought it was also important too because that was a kind of a devastating moment right at that point in the film.
Yeah.
um, you know, some people were kind of exhausted or just lost the words. And I thought, being able to step up as the woman saying, this is what it is. This is
Yeah.
how we need to, approach this because of this is what it is. I think it played wonders again, being the saving grace
100%.
in the
Oh,
film.
thank you. Actually, now that you've mentioned that, I've just, sort of realized as well watching it back, it's kind of like they're in this, yeah, they're completely exhausted. They don't really know what to do. And I think in that moment, she's like, I know what it is,
Yep.
and I'm gonna say it.
Yep.
I'm gonna be the one to just kind of take that step and be like, look, we need to just acknowledge this and move on and
Yep.
see where we can go from there.
100%. So again, back to the cast. Now, how was it working with the cast? And, because everyone seemed very fun and entertaining to be around. And
Yeah.
also, I'm speaking with Molly, who plays Queenie, soon. Any funny stories or message to pass from you to her?
Well, I mean, I think there are only funny stories from this entire experience. Honestly, it was the most fun I've ever had in my life. Oh, I have a very embarrassing story from my point of view
Okay.
that, I mean, I think she would absolutely love to tell. Um, oh God, I can't believe I'm saying this. TikTok,
Yes.
like, it used to be Musical.ly and everybody would sort of lip
Yep.
sync and
Yep.
make
Yep.
those like
Mm-hmm.
I had one of those. I'm not ashamed, but I did spend many a days as 13-year-old Sophie just in my bedroom making about 50 of them. And she found my account, and one night at dinner, all of the mums and all of the cast were there. And she decided to pull it up on her phone, and everybody went to the end of the table and just watched. Oh, it was awful. I was sort of sat there like, oh, please stop. But yeah, we laughed about it. But they found it hysterical, and so thank you, Molly, for bringing that one up.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I will be very much I think I would be very much interested in seeing some behind the scenes
Oh,
footage from
well,
you
I
all.
mean, I've got tons if you want it. We ended up at the end, the last 2 weeks, for some odd reason, we just decided to sing High School Musical every single day. We would like get the soundtrack up. Even the crew, we were trying to teach the crew High School Musical songs, and yeah, and it was really funny actually because Zach has never seen High School Musical, so all of us were like, proper singing
Yeah.
our little hearts out, and Zach was like, "What is going on? These are crazy people."
Oh
But
my
yeah, we
oh
had
my.
great fun, great fun.
Well, hopefully by now everyone has seen the film, so I'm going to be very cautious in saying that this is a super spoiler right here.
Okay.
So if you're watching this interview,
Yeah,
everybody,
click
please
off.
come
Good.
back to this at some point. But
Yeah.
so I'm count down 3, 2, 1, spoiler time. Now it is very clear that the job is not done.
Mm,
What would you like to see next happen with the
what would
crew in
I
this
like to see next? Honestly, I would love to kind of see where they are as a friendship group, as kids,
film?
have some relationships progressed, have they fallen out, who we don't know yet.
Hmm.
So that would be really interesting. And yeah, I mean, I want to know what happens. Is it the same one? Is it like one of
Hmm.
my friends suggested to me, she was like, is it another one? Was
Hmm.
there two all along? And also
Hmm.
what happens to Chris?
Hmm.
That would be really interesting to find out. There's
Yes.
a lot of sort of unanswered questions that I think would be great for a second one. So if anybody from production is listening,
Yeah.
please.
Yes. Yes. I,
Yeah.
I I agree. Two different ways you definitely can go with this. I would love for it. I would love to see more of the friendship amongst the crew. And I would almost want them to be almost just ignorant to what's happening with it. And I
Yeah,
would
kind of.
also,
Yeah.
yeah, this kind of like, we've done we've killed it, whatever the new, no one believes us anyway. So like, we
May
did
as
what
well
we
drop it.
did. We'll just
Yeah.
do, and then they see the news and obviously Chris missing, and they kind of nonchalant, a little bit of conflict in between everybody. And then they're like, you know what,
100%.
we got to go finish it. And I would love to see Bess be the one to pioneer this, to say, look,
Uh,
we got to go do this.
I need to bring you in. If they have like any kind of script writing meetings, yo, come help me
If,
convince
yeah.
them.
That'd be
Thank
awesome.
you. No, that would be great.
Yeah,
That'd be
I
great.
would be all for this. I mean, again, I thought it was I can't stress enough. Like
Oh,
this
thank you.
movie channels so much nostalgia for your childhood. I've said in my review, this gives me a lot of Stranger Things vibes, and everybody really loved that. And it's just really the premise of it is just a core group of kids doing kid stuff, having kid fun. And next thing you know, they run to a monster and they got to handle
Yeah.
it in the best way they can. I mean, who can't like that? All of us grew up wanting to fight monsters. That was never
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
there. These things in the world, like the floor is lava, wouldn't be a thing if it wasn't for our imagination. And the
Mhm.
monster under the bed, the monster in the closet, the monster now in the cave. Like these are all things that we've all grown up to. So I just my message to anybody watching this is like, go in this with a light heart. Go back and channel your childhood because it's just that. It's fun. The characters work really well. They're easily be invested in. And then, like I said, Bess, the woman is the pioneer, the saving grace of the group. And I'm always for women empowerment. So it's
Thank
just a
you.
great story that goes on here. So my last question for you before we get out of here is, what is next for you?
Well, unfortunately, next for me is school. I know nothing exciting as of yet, but I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to kind of. I'm doing musical theatre in school at the moment, so I grew up with theatre, but definitely after this project, TV and film would definitely be an avenue. So again, if anybody would like to hire me, that would be great. I'll use this as like a little selfless promo. But yeah, school for me at the moment. Gotta get the studies in.
Right on, right on. Well, definitely much love, success. Keep pushing. This is definitely an amazing first step in the right
Thank you.
direction. And obviously good luck in your studies. That's also very important. Even when you become a celebrity, you still gotta get your education on,
You
folks.
do, you do, you do.
You,
It is
you
very important, very
gotta have a
important.
good balance there. But thank you so much for taking time to talk to
That's
me.
no problem at all.
Um,
Thank you so much for talking to me.
It's been a pleasure. And definitely everybody give her a follow on social media. That information is going to be in the description below. And definitely go out and see Shortcut is in theaters right now. And that is always a good thing. Where we're getting back to going to the theaters, my favorite. So definitely everybody be safe. Thank you so much for watching this interview. And we will catch you all very soon.